Let's welcome young Elizabeth to the set of Blast from the Past. Woohoo! Now let's welcome old Elizabeth to the set. Thanks for coming, guys.
You're very welcome.
Okay, so young Elizabeth, how do you want to rule England?
Thank you for asking me that question. I hope that my reign will be a moderate one and a stable one without wars. For the past couple of years, wars against Spain and wars within us have crippled us. We have no standing army and we are bankrupt. My sister Mary was extreme in her measures and had an unpopular marriage that threatened the loss of our sovereignty. I hope to be loved by our people regardless of their religion, but I do not wish to make windows out of men's souls. But keep in mind, I will put stability over anything else.
Old Elizabeth, how do you think you ruled? Are you proud of what you have accomplished?
Since I was queen, I never put my pen to any grant, but that upon pretext and summons made upon me. It was both good and beneficial to the subject, in general, though a private profit to some of my ancient servants, who had dissolved well in my hands. But the contrary being founded by experience, I am exceedingly beholden to such subjects as well as would move the same at first. And I am not so simple to suppose that there will be some of the lower house whom these grievances never touched, that my grants should be grievances to my people, and oppressions to be privileged under color of our patents. Our kingly dignity shall not suffer it. Ye, when I heard it, I couldn't give no rest to my thoughts until I had reformed it. I think that this tiny export from my last speech when I was queen sums up my feelings pretty well. I have, to the best of my ability, tried to enhance the life of my people, no matter what class. Happy citizens make a powerful queen. Unhappy citizens cause an uprising. As with the second question, I am happy with what I have accomplished, but I always wanted to leave a lasting impression upon my people. During my reign, arts flourished. Literature and drama became a necessity. I made England powerful.
Keep going.
I made England a powerful nation. Before, everybody looked to England as a small country that pigs would live in. Now, they look to England as a country that kings will live in.
Oh. Young Elizabeth, you don't seem to have a man beside you. Why? Why didn't you marry? You had so many offers. Why aren't you taking any? Do you think this will have an impact on your life and the way you rule?
I've answered this question many times. I do not understand why everyone questions me on this. I have several justifiable reasons as to why I've not gotten married. I see how marriage has ruined other people. My sister Mary married the Prince of Philip of Spain, and unpopularity of it caused her death. My cousin Mary, Queen of Scots, lost her throne, her independence, and her son over a man she thought she loved. Marriage also brings in the messy responsibilities of being allied with another country. I do not want my England thrown into war, and my people sent off to fight for another country. Not only that, but being married to a man means compromising my own power. And though I have the body of a woman, I have the heart and mind of a king. And I am already married. I am married to the people of my country. I have already joined myself in marriage to a husband, namely the Kingdom of England. And behold, the pledge of this, my wedlock and marriage with my kingdom. At this point, I drew the ring they gave me when I was coronated. Here, having made a pause, and do not say she upbraided me with the miserable lack of children. For every one of you, as many as are Englishmen, are children and kinsmen to me, of whom if God deprive me not, which God forbid, I cannot without injury be accounted barren. But I command you that ye who have not appointed me a husband, for that were most unworthy the majesty of an absolute princess, and beseeming your wisdom, which are subjects born. Nevertheless, if it please God that I enter another course of life, I promise you I will do nothing which may be prejudicial to the Commonwealth, but will take such a husband as near as may be, as will have great a care of the Commonwealth as myself, which I shall let my last breath it be engraven upon my marble tomb. Here lieth Elizabeth, which reigned a virgin and died a virgin. If this has not answered your questions on the subject, then nothing I say will.
So, old Elizabeth, do you regret not having a husband? Do you think in any situation not having a husband hindered the way you ruled?
I do not regret not having a husband. If I had felt that it was necessary for the well-being of my country, I would have. But since it was not necessary at the time, I did not. The only man that I've ever had legitimate feelings for was the Duke of Anjou, but since my marriage with him would not have benefited the country, I did not marry him. Even though it may look like I'm a weak woman, I have given my heart and soul to the job as queen. There has never been anybody who loves their country as much as I, so it has not hindered my ability not being married to rule as queen. No man could have ever given all that I have to my people.
This question is specifically for older Elizabeth. Have you felt any guilt about the execution of your cousin, Mary, Queen of Scots?
Yes and no. No, since she tried to mortally harm me more than once, to gain control of power that was never hers to begin with. When she was in trouble, she came to me for help. I gave it to her since she was a fellow queen, and that gratitude was repaid with her trying to overthrow me. I had never done anything to deserve that kind of hatred. But on the same hand, yes, I feel guilty, since before anything, she was my cousin, and we were family. If we were any other family, this would have just been a dispute. It would have never ended with death.
Also for old Elizabeth, do you think the war with Spain affected you?
Philip II and his army greatly affected me and my people. Everyone lost somebody that was dear to their hearts, including me during the wartime. I will never forget what happened. But the war did bring one good thing. It brought me my greatest victory that I have ever had.
Why do you think the arts were so important to you and England's society?
From the time I was a child, I was always been fascinated by literature. In fact, I even wrote my own poetry. The arts were quite important to my image, and my image was everything in my reign. Some of the literature took inspiration from me, further enhancing that image. I also made sure that I controlled portraits of myself, even commissioned them. I had to be seen a certain way. I had to be Gloriana, best, the brightest queen, the bright star. And the arts really helped me with that.
Why did you put so much trust into your advisors?
It is very hard to run a country without the help of a council. There's simply too much to be done by one person. The two people I trust most are William Cecil and Robert Dudley. Cecil helps me run the country and is my right-hand man as my Secretary of State. Me and Dudley share a long history. We were childhood friends and were in the same tower where I was imprisoned during Mary's reign. I trust my counselors continually to offer me ideas on how to go through with ruling. But this does not make me a puppet queen, with a privy councillor playing puppeteer. In the end, the decision ultimately lies with me.
Wow, guys, it was so amazing meeting the both of you. So let me just get this straight. Originally, young Elizabeth, you wanted to have a reign free from wars and internal strife. You seemed to be quite tolerant, but the circumstances pushed you into paths that involved complex murder plots, religious disputes, and of course the war with Spain over Netherlands. You were even forced to kill your cousin, Mary, because she was planning a coup behind your back. But you didn't get this far despite being kind. Rumors have it that you used spies, pirates, and your marriage to move around domestic and international policies. There is even talk of you not even being a virgin, with a relationship with Dudley and the Duke of Anjou. In the end, you are not the stereotypical ruler, and you're definitely not the stereotypical queen. Anyway, thank you, ladies, for the wonderful discussion, but this is all the time we have for today. So come back next week for the blast for the past. Woo!